Hello, and welcome to today's presentation on understanding Florida's mental health system. Thank you for joining us. My name is Melissa Searle, and I am a Senior Advocate Investigator with Disability Rights Florida. I have been with Disability Rights Florida for 15 years. I am currently on our investigations team and investigate complaints of abuse, neglect, and rights violations throughout facilities in Florida, with a focus on facilities that provide mental health services. I also monitor facilities that provide mental health services to ensure patients' rights are being protected. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science from Florida State University. My co-presenter is Catherine Strobach, the Director of Investigations at Disability Rights Florida. Ms. Strobach joined Disability Rights Florida in 2019, and she oversees investigations of abuse, neglect, and rights violations of individuals with disabilities that reside in institutional settings. Prior to Disability Rights Florida, Catherine practiced with the Public Defender's Office for the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida. She specialized in forensic and civil mental health cases involving evaluation, commitment, and involuntary medication administration at both the trial and appellate levels. Ms. Strobach holds a Juris Doctorate degree from the University of Wisconsin Law School, a Master of Social Work degree from Florida International University School of Social Work with a certificate in working with the elderly, and a Bachelor of Social Work and Bachelor of Arts in Women's Study from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Our goals for today's presentation is to provide a basic overview of the various agencies and organizations that are part of Florida's mental health system, and to provide some resources on finding services that are right for you and your family. We will discuss Florida's Substance Abuse and Mental Health Program, peer-based community resources, housing options, and also provide resources for finding care and information. So let's start with the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Program of Florida's Department of Children and Family, or DCF. We'll discuss managing entities, community mental health treatment centers, crisis stabilization units, referred to as CSUs, short-term residential treatment facilities, or SRTs, state hospitals, statewide inpatient psychiatric programs, or SIPPs, Juvenile Incompetent to Proceed programs, or JITPs, Florida Assertive Community Treatment Teams, known as FACT teams, mobile response teams, and coordinated specialty care teams. The Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, designated the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Program as the single state authority on substance abuse and mental health. The program is governed by Chapter 394, which is where the Florida Mental Health Act and the Baker Act are found, and Chapter 397, which is where the Marchman Act is found, of the Florida statutes. The program is responsible for the oversight of a statewide system of care for the prevention, treatment, and recovery of children and adults with serious mental illnesses or substance abuse disorders. DCF is the state agency that administers Florida's Substance Abuse and Mental Health Program. DCF plans, manages, and evaluates mental health services and supports across the state. They also oversee community mental health centers and programs, residential treatment facilities, and therapeutic foster care and group homes. Department of Children and Families does this by contracting for behavioral health services through 7 regional systems of care called managing entities, which are located across the state. The managing entities do not provide direct services. They distribute DCF's funding to the various regions across the state to be customized to the specific behavioral needs of that region. The managing entity then contracts with local community service providers to provide mental health and substance abuse services to individuals in the community. And the managing entities are responsible for the oversight of those service providers. On this slide, we have a list of the 7 managing entities. The picture on the slide is of a map of Florida that is divided by 7 colors, with each color showing the counties that are in that particular managing entity. On the map, the blue color represents Big Bend Community-Based Care. The yellow color represents Lutheran Services Florida. The orange color represents Central Florida Cares Health Network. The dark red represents Central Florida Behavioral Health Network. The darker pink color represents Southeast Florida Behavioral Health Network. The purple represents Broward Behavioral Health Coalition, and the lighter pink represents South Florida Behavioral Health Network. Managing entities contract with local community mental health centers to provide services directly to individuals. Individuals can contact their local managing entity to obtain contact information for their local community mental health center. Individuals who need services go directly to the community mental health center, regardless of the ability to pay. The local centers provide a various and comprehensive range of services, which allows for continuity of care because an individual can transfer easily from one type of service to another type of service as their needs change. Each community mental health center has its own characteristics, which are customized to the specialized needs and resources of that particular community. However, they all provide inpatient services, outpatient services, day treatment, and emergency services 24/7. Receiving facilities, which are commonly referred to as crisis stabilization units or Baker Act facilities, accept individuals under emergency conditions for mental health or substance abuse evaluations. Receiving facilities provide evaluation and treatment or transportation to an appropriate service providers if they cannot meet the needs of the individual. They are designated to provide short-term treatment for acute mental health crisis situations. Florida's Baker Act is also known as the Florida Mental Health Act, and it is found in Part 1 of Chapter 394 of the Florida Statutes. Short-term residential treatment facilities, or SRTs, provide step-down services for patients of crisis stabilization units who need a longer but less intensive level of active treatment for mental health conditions. SRTs provide treatment between crisis care and long-term care hospitalization while in a residential treatment facility. The individuals in SRTs are no longer needing psychiatric emergency care, but are still in need of additional inpatient treatment. Now, as we move on to state mental health treatment facilities, they are often called state hospitals or treatment facilities. They are designated by the Department of Children and Families to provide longer-term treatment and hospitalization for individuals with serious mental illness whose needs cannot be met in an outpatient community setting. A court may commit someone to receive involuntary treatment at a state mental health facility when strict legal criteria are met, which include when an individual's symptoms of mental illness put them in a substantial risk of self-neglect because they cannot care for themselves or survive on their own using all available supports, and they may cause serious bodily harm on themselves or others. There are separate state mental health treatment facilities for civil patients and for forensic patients. Civil patients are committed by court order to receive treatment under the Baker Act, while forensic patients are committed by court order to more secure facilities to receive treatment under the Forensic Client Services Act because they are either ITP, charged with a felony crime but are incompetent to proceed because of their mental illness, or they are NGI, adjudicated not guilty by reason of insanity after facing prosecution for a felony crime. Statewide inpatient psychiatric programs, or SIPPs, are funded by the Medicaid Waiver Program to provide psychiatric services for youth under 21 years of age with serious mental illness or emotional disturbance and require inpatient residential care. Referrals to a SIPP are initiated by a designated person at the local Department of Children and Families District Substance Abuse and Mental Health Office, and with involvement of the minor's parent, legal guardian, or family member. SIPPs provide youth with a various amount of services, including an individualized plan of care, crisis intervention, biosocial evaluations, psychiatric evaluations. The youth are also closely monitored by staff. Medication management and various therapies are provided, along with routine medical and dental care. Educational programming, recreational, vocational, and behavioral analysis services, and connection to community-based services are also provided. The Juvenile Incompetent to Proceed program is what allows DCF to oversee the care of juveniles who are incompetent due to serious mental illness or emotional disturbance. The program provides competency restoration services for youth who are charged with a felony before their 18th birthday and are unable to participate in legal proceedings due to their mental illness. The services can be provided in the community while the minor resides in their home, or at a detention facility, or at their school, or in a secure residential center at Apalachicola Forest Youth Camp in Liberty County, Florida. FACT teams, or Florida Assertive Community Treatment Teams, is an evidence-based approach to assisting individual adults with severe and persistent mental illness live as independently as possible in the community. The FACT team provides individualized wraparound outpatient care plans 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with psychiatric services, therapies, case management, medical care, financial supports, and management services, transportation, and training for family members and supporters. FACT team eligibility is determined by the managing entity, and priority is given to individuals who have a history of hospitalizations, emergency room visits, admissions to state hospitals, homelessness, or incarceration. Mobile response teams are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to anyone, regardless of their ability to pay, and they provide as-needed, on-demand crisis intervention services in any setting in which the behavioral health crisis is occurring, which can include someone's home, at their school, or even in the emergency room. Mobile response teams provide services including evaluations and assessments, development of safety or crisis plans, providing or facilitating stabilization services, supportive crisis counseling, education, development of coping skills, recommendations. They provide linkage to appropriate resources and connecting those individuals who need more intensive mental health services and substance abuse services. The goals of mobile response teams are to lessen trauma, divert from emergency departments or juvenile and criminal justice, and to prevent unnecessary psychiatric hospitalizations. Coordinated Specialty Care for Early Psychosis is a recovery-oriented treatment program for individuals with first episode psychosis that connects individuals with services as soon as possible following the start of psychiatric symptoms. A personal treatment plan is created and includes psychotherapy, medical management specialty tailored to first episode psychosis, family education and support, case management, and work education or support.
Thank you to Melissa for all the information provided in the first half of our presentation. This is Catherine Strobach, and I'm going to be speaking to you for the remainder of our presentation. First, I'm going to be talking to you about peer-based community resources, including peer support, drop-in centers, clubhouses, peer respite, and Warmlines. Peer support is a system of giving and receiving help founded on key principles of respect, shared responsibility, and mutual agreement of what is helpful. Peer support is not based on psychiatric models and diagnostic criteria. Instead, it is about understanding another's situation empathetically through the shared experience of emotional and psychological pain. Peer supporters may be found in a variety of settings, such as crisis stabilization units, state hospitals, drop-in centers, clubhouses, and they also staff Warmlines and crisis lines. In Florida, certified recovery peer support specialists are peer specialists who self-identify as someone with direct personal experience living in recovery from mental health or a substance use condition, who has a desire to use their experience to help others with their recovery, and who is willing to publicly identify as a person living in recovery for the purpose of educating, role modeling, and providing hope to others about the reality of recovery, and who has also had the proper training and experience to work in a provider role. The Certified Recovery Peer Support Specialist designation is specially awarded by the Florida Certification Board to those who have undergone special training. Drop-in centers are places that provide support to those experiencing symptoms of mental illness or other emotional difficulties from people who are peer volunteers, many of whom might be certified peer recovery support specialists. The activities and supports provided at drop-in centers can vary widely by location, but include things like self-help or mutual support meetings and outreach to individuals who are institutionalized, on-site activities like arts and crafts, socials, or guest speakers, off-site excursions or trips to do fun things like going to see a movie together, access to computers and employment support, advocacy for individuals and with systems, basic needs assistance such as a clothing bank. Some drop-in centers even run small businesses right at the center, such as a snack shop or a thrift store. The hours of drop-in centers vary by location, but they frequently offer hours on evenings, weekends, and holidays whenever volunteers are available. Mental health clubhouses are another type of voluntary organization run by and for the members with the support of staff to provide a restorative environment for individuals whose lives have been severely disrupted because of their mental illness. An evidence-based model to promote recovery and prevent rehospitalization of members is used by every place that calls itself a clubhouse. Clubhouses use what they refer to as a work order day to use the talents and abilities of members within the clubhouse. Members participate in consensus-based decision-making regarding all important matters related to the running of the clubhouse. Clubhouses also provide opportunities to obtain paid employment in the local labor market through a clubhouse-created transitional employment program. Clubhouses offer opportunities for members to participate in clubhouse and other independent programming. They offer assistance in accessing community-based educational resources, access to crisis intervention services when needed, and also offer evening and weekend social and recreational activities. In addition, many clubhouses offer assistance in securing and sustaining safe, decent, and affordable housing. Respite care and Warmlines are other ways that peers provide support to one another. For example, the Gainesville Peer Respite provides one-on-one peer support and peer support groups. They also run a Warmline, which is a peer-run phone line that offers callers emotional support and is staffed by volunteers who are in recovery themselves. Finally, they offer overnight respite stays for residents of Alachua County for limited periods of time when a safe, supportive environment away from home is needed to help someone cope or process a mental or emotional difficulty. Please note that currently this service is not available because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but we will provide contact information at the conclusion of this presentation for Gainesville Peer Respite so that you can reach out to them directly in the future if this is a service that would be helpful to you. Next, I'm going to talk about some of the housing options that are available to individuals with mental illness that require additional supports in order to live as independently as possible. This is not an inclusive list, but what we are going to talk about today includes supportive housing, adult family care homes, and limited mental health ALFs that are available here in Florida. Supportive housing is a form of independent housing. It connects affordable, community-based housing with flexible, voluntary support services for individuals and families living with mental illness. Since it's independent, this means that people in supportive housing live in their own individual apartment, and there may be services provided on-site in their apartment community that can include things like case management, day treatment, drop-in or self-help centers, clubhouses, crisis and emergency support, FACT teams, and recovery support. Adult family care homes provide full-time family-type living arrangements in a private home with no more than 5 adults who are considered to be individuals with disabilities or older adults that are referred to as frail elders who are not relatives of the person who owns the home. The person who owns or rents the adult family care home provides room, board, and personal care to the residents on a 24-hour basis. The adult family care home provider lives in the home with the residents, and mental health overlay program services can be provided in an adult family care home in order to provide additional evaluation and supplemental on-site services for individuals with mental illness. These are homes that are licensed by Florida's Agency for Healthcare Administration. Limited mental health assisted living facilities, or ALFs for short, are residential facilities that provide housing, meals, and one or more personal services for the individuals that live there. They come in a wide variety of sizes, from homes with less than a dozen individuals to larger, more institutional-like facilities. Residents have a community living support plan that includes access to mental health services such as medication management and therapeutic activities. Assisted living facility staff must be trained and equipped to assist residents in carrying out activities identified in their community living support plans. Also, like adult family care homes, assisted living facilities are licensed by the Agency for Healthcare Administration here in Florida, and residents may receive mental health overlay program services on site. Now for the final portion of our presentation, I'm going to talk to you about resources for finding care and information for individuals with mental illness and their family members. We're going to go over some national resources, some resources that are available to residents of the state of Florida, and also talk a little bit about the services offered by Disability Rights Florida. First, we're going to go over the national resources and directories of information. The National Mental Health Consumers Self-Help Clearinghouse offers a website with a directory of different types of peer and consumer-driven mental health supports. You can search for assistance and services by your zip code, going to the website of cdsdirectory.org. That's cdsdirectory.org. The National Institute of Mental Health is the lead federal agency for research on mental disorders, and they have links to mental health information as well as information about their research. And you can access their website at www.nimh.nih.gov. That's www.nimh.nih.gov. Mentalhealth.org offers a one-stop access to comprehensive mental health information, and they provide educational resources and guidance to individuals, family members, governmental entities, and other organizations. And you can access their website and all the resources that their organization has to offer at www.mentalhealth.org. That's www.mentalhealth.org. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA for short, is the leading national entity for information, resources, referrals, training, and technical assistance on mental health. And you can access their website at www.samhsa.gov. That's www.samhsa.gov. SAMHSA has a national helpline where they offer information and referral services. And to access the helpline, you can call 1-800-662-HELP or 1-800-662-4357. To access the helpline through TTY, dial 1-800-487-4889. The Bazelon Center for Mental Health Law advocates for the civil rights, full inclusion, and equality of adults and children with mental disabilities. They maintain a research library on mental health legal topics on their website at www.bazelon.org, and that's spelled www.bazelon.org. The National Respite Network and Resource Center provides resources to help you find respite care in your community. You can search for local organizations that provide respite services online at www.archresPite.org. Again, that's www.archresPite.org. Or you can contact them by phone at 703-256-2084 or 360-769-7167. The International Coalition of Clubhouses has a website where they offer information about the Clubhouse model of mental health recovery, as well as provides a worldwide directory of clubhouses. The website that's listed on the slideshow presentation provides a direct link to the Clubhouse Finder so that you can find a clubhouse closest to you. But if you want to go to their main website just to learn more about clubhouses and what they offer to their members, you can go to clubhouse-intl.org. That's clubhouseinternational.org, and again it's clubhouse-intl.org. Next are the Florida state agencies that we've been referring to throughout this presentation. The Florida Department of Children and Families, or DCF for short, has a website where you can go to locate and contact your managing entity, find a FACT team, get in contact with a mobile response team or coordinated specialty care for first episode psychosis team, as well as locate community mental health care. Their main website is www.myfloridafamilies.com or www.myflfamilies.com. The Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration, or AHCA, has a facility finder where you can locate licensed facilities such as adult family group homes and assisted living facilities in your area. And you can access it from the AHCA website, which is www.floridahealthfinder.gov. That's www.floridahealthfinder.gov. Finally, the Florida Department of Elder Affairs can assist in locating resources designed specially for the needs of older adults with mental illness. And you can access their website at www.elderaffairs.state.fl.us. That's www.elderaffairs.state.fl.us. Other resources available to Florida residents include 211.org. This website allows you to access help finding mental health and other resources in your area. Just go to www.211.org. The Baker Act Reporting Center at the College of Behavioral and Community Sciences at the University of South Florida has links to resources for the general public as well as legal practitioners about the Baker Act and Florida's mental health system. You can access this information and resources from the USF website at www.usf.edu. The National Alliance of Mental Illness, or NAMI for short, of Florida, offers grassroots activism, education, and support for individuals with mental illness, their families, and their supporters. They offer virtual support groups for peers and family members, and you can access their website at namiflorida.org. That's NAMIFLORDA.org. The national NAMI website is available at www.nami.org. The National NAMI organization also offers a helpline, which is 1-800-950-NAMI or 1-800-950-6264, and it offers information and referral sources Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Depression and Bipolar Support Awareness offers support groups online and in person through local Florida chapters. Sometimes the Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance is referred to as DBSA for short. And the National DBSA website has a tool to help you locate your local chapter. Just go to www.dbsalliance.org. That's www.dbsalliance.org. If you are interested in clubhouses here in the state of Florida and finding a mental health clubhouse in your area, you can look on the Florida Clubhouse Coalition website to find a clubhouse close to you. Their website is www.flclubhouse.org. That's www.flclubhouse.org. The Florida Lifespan Respite Alliance provides respite to caregivers, and you can contact them through their website at www.flifespanrespite.com, which is www.flifespanrespite.com. Finally, the website for the Gainesville Peer Respite that we talked about early in our presentation, which provides respite services, peer support groups, individual peer support services, as well as a Warmline, can be found online at www.gainesvillerespite.org, which is www.gainesvillespite.org. There are a lot of different resources for individuals who are looking for information on supportive housing here in the state of Florida. One of those resources is the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, which has information and resources about supportive housing. And you can find them online at www.floridahousing.org, and that is www.floridahousing.org. The University of South Florida Criminal Justice, Mental Health, and Substance Abuse Technical Assistance Center similarly offers links to resources on supportive housing, and you can access that information through their main website at www.usf.edu. SupportiveHousing.org is a national searchable directory that helps individuals locate supportive housing resources by zip code. And you can find them online at www.supportivehousing.org or www.suppportivehousing.org. ortivehoussing.org. The National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI, has a portion of their website that is specially devoted to helping individuals with mental illness locate supportive, stable housing in their communities. And that can be accessed on their national website at www.nami.org or www.nami.org. And finally, in terms of supportive housing resources, the Florida Supportive Housing Coalition organizes statewide advocacy efforts for housing advocates. And they have a website at fshc.org. Again, that's fshc.org. Next, we have Warmlines and peer support lines that you can contact for emotional support. The first is Mental Health of America's SEF line, which you can reach by dialing 954-578-5640 from Monday through Friday during the hours of 6 through 10 p.m. Again, that's 954-578-5640, open weekdays from 6 to 10 p.m. The Gainesville Peer Respite has a warm line that you can contact by dialing 352-278-0529. Again, the phone number is 352-278-0529. Their warm line is staffed by volunteers, so the hours vary depending on availability. Finally, there's the Clear Warm line, which is available by dialing 1-800-945-1355. Again, that's 1-800-945-1355. And the Clear Warm line is open from 4 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every night of the year, including holidays. Next, we are going to go over some specialized helplines offering emotional support to callers. The first is the National Alliance on Eating Disorders helpline, or the NEDA helpline for short. Their phone number is 1-800-931-2237. That's 1-800-931-2237. And they are open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Next is the Senior Friendship Helpline for adults ages 60 years and older, as well as adults living with disabilities. The Senior Friendship Line can be reached at 1-800-971-0016, and they are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, the Senior Friendship Line is 1-800-971-0016. Next is the Pride Institute, a specialized hotline for the LGBTQ+ community for individuals who are looking for assistance, including information referral services for mental health and chemical dependency needs. Again, the Pride Institute hotline for the LGBTQ+ community is 1-800-547-7433, and they are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Next is the Sexual Assault Helpline. They are available to survivors of sexual violence, and they are open 24/7 and can be reached by dialing 1-800-656-4673. Again, the Sexual Assault Hotline is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and can be reached by dialing 1-800-656-4673. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available to survivors of intimate partner violence, and they can be reached at 1-800-799-SAFE or 1-800-799-7233. They have a separate TTY line at 1-800-787-3224. That's 1-800-787-3224. You can also access their hotline through an online chat, which is www.thehotline.org or www.thehotline.org, and they are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Next, we are going to talk about some specialized resources for youth. The first is the Trevor Project, which offers a youth helpline for LGBTQ+ youth. And the hotline number is 1-866-488-7386, and it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's 1-866-488-7386. There's also a teen line which offers emotional support to youth and is run by peers to help prevent a crisis. You can contact the teen line by dialing 1-800-TLC-TEEN. That's 1-800-TLC-TEEN. And they are open from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Another alternative is to text the word teen, T-E-E-N, to 839-863. That's text the word teen to 839-863 from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or you can access them online at www.teenlineonline.org to get help via email or an online message board. Again, that's www.teenlineonline.org. Finally, there is OK to Talk, which is a peer support group for transition-age youth ages 16 through 22 years, offered via an online message board at ok2talk.org. That's OK, the number 2, TALK.org. They offer phone support to youth provided by the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK, TALK. Next, we're going to go over several hotlines that offer crisis support for individuals going through a mental health crisis 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The first of these is a Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which can be reached by dialing 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-SUICIDE, SUICIDE. The next crisis support hotline is actually a text line. You can contact the crisis text line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by texting to 741-741. Again, text a message to 741-741 to reach the crisis text line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Veterans Crisis Line is a specialized crisis line to support veterans going through mental or emotional crisis. Their number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, you can call them at 1-800-273-8255, or you can text them at 838-255. Again, text the Veterans Crisis Line at 838-255. If you would rather chat online, you can do that at their website, which is www.veteranscrisisline.net or www.veteranscrisisline.net. And last but not least, a little information about Disability Rights Florida. Disability Rights Florida advocates, educates, investigates, and litigates to protect and advance the rights, dignity, equal opportunities, self-determination, and choices for all people with disabilities, including those with psychiatric disabilities. We provide legally based advocacy services by multidisciplinary teams of attorneys, advocates, investigators, paralegals, intake specialists, and other professionals. All of the services provided by Disability Rights Florida are free and confidential. If you are an individual with a disability and have questions about your legal rights relating to mental health services, or you want to request an investigation into the abuse or neglect of an individual receiving mental health treatment in a facility, please contact us to make a request for service. You may reach us by our toll-free number, which is 1-800-342-0823. That's 1-800-342-0823, or TDD at 1-800-346-4127. That's TDD 1-800-346-4127. You can also find us online at www.disabilityrightsflorida.org or www.disabilityrightsflorida.org. And you can find a link to our online intake form on our website. And that concludes today's presentation on understanding Florida's mental health system. Thank you very much for joining us.